let's jump to another voice submission, this time from Jaden. Take it away, Jaden.
Hey, Bandrew. I've started streaming recently, and I've been fiddling with compression on my Q802 USB interface. I was wondering how much compression is too much. I've heard too much compression destroys dynamic range, but is it that important to a streamer that doesn't want a big difference in volume between normal speaking and shouting?
Jaden, what an excellent question. And to confuse you right off the bat, yes and no. You can overcompress, and no, you can't overcompress. Even now, I'm confused about what I just said. That doesn't make any sense. What am I saying? I think you absolutely can overcompress, and your audio starts to sound a little bit funky. You start sounding like Howard Stern. You start sounding like a radio host. And for a stream, I think that is detrimental, distracting, and it just sounds bad. But the reason why I said no is because I think that dynamic range is far less important, in my opinion, for a stream. The entire reason that we buy all of this audio stuff, the reason we buy mics, the reason we buy preamps and compressors and de-essers and plugins up the wazoo is because we are buying them to ultimately try to make the end product easier for the listener or the viewer to enjoy. That is the goal of all of it. If adding a little bit more compression than you normally would makes it easier for your listeners and your viewers to hear you over the game audio, absolutely go for it. But if not, if you just want to because you want to and it starts making you sound funky like a radio host, don't do it. But if you're doing it with a purpose, go for it. But you know me, I am not just going to wax poetic about it. Let's jump to some samples so I can demonstrate what I think is a good level of compression, then a little bit too much, and then way too much. Let's jump to that sample right now. Alrighty, here is an audio sample of me speaking normally. This is me without any compression whatsoever, natural microphone directly into the computer through an audio interface with no processing. Here, I now have a little bit of compression, maybe 4 or 5 dB of gain reduction, something a little bit more natural. I will increase it a touch right here to let you see what I think is the edge of acceptability. And here we have gone overboard. This is far too much compression. I will have up on the screen for the video the plugin for the compression so you can see what kind of gain reduction we're getting. At this point, I think it sounds unnatural, unpleasant, and you sound like a radio show. Don't sound like a radio show. That's the moral of the story.